How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Marlon and I'm going to be talking about stocks today, how to buy, how I buy, and the evolution that I have had in the past maybe 7 years since I've been trading. So let's get right into it. If you guys like this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more of this kind of content. To start it off, let's get into it. Number one, first thing that you see when you type in Google or Amazon on Google and you see the stocks, the first thing you see are the graphs, and that's designed to make it very simple for you guys. Look at the ticker symbol and you see if it's green or red, and that's how I used to trade before. I look at the graphs and that's pretty much how I evaluated back in the day, back then. That was such a big mistake, and as I learned, the graphs are just very much an introduction. In encompassing the graphs now, I look at the graphs not just on the 1 day, not just 1 week, not just 3 months, but I go to the max and I also evaluate more so the 5 years, 5-year span of the company, also the highs and the lows of the company, which is very important to a little bit forecast what's going to come ahead. Probably the next day, probably the next few days, who knows, depending on your decision when to hold the company, long-term or short-term. That's a different topic. That's number one, the graphs and the volume associated with the graphs. So that's number one. Number two, it all boils down to the financials, folks. The financials are the bread and butter of the stocks, in my opinion. Basically, in accounting, you got your revenues, your expenses, your EBITDAs, your normalized EBITDAs, your cash flow statements, your income statements, and yada yada yada. You got to know these kind of evaluations. You got to know the trends. You kind of know how to look at the past so you can see forward. Basically, that's the gist of it. Why are there dips on some years, and why are they highs on certain years, related to the graphs that I mentioned, and volume as well. So that's why the fundamentals is highly associated with the graphs. Fundamentals, very important. Don't sleep on them. Get a Udemy class, get more accounting classes. I recommend watching this guy. He does all accounting and he does it to explain it very simply. Number three, regarding the news, it's very opinionated, it's very politicized. It's written for a reason. News that you see, news that you hear, news that you, or gossip, news that you read, those are one or multi-sided. So I'm all over the place, but those are the three things that basically that I check when it comes to buying the stocks. Number four that tops it all off is the outlook of the industry of the stock. So if it's in the tech, of course, it's going to be 10-year outlook. If it's oil, who knows? It's probably going to be short-lived. If you're going to be holding or you're going to be keeping stock for only a short term. So those are the four things that I consider when I'm buying the stocks: graphs, volumes, fundamentals, the news, and outlook of the industry. Hope you guys like this video and you guys get something out of it. Hope you guys have a good day. Take it easy. Cheers.